Hello and welcome to the Wealthy Trades weekly and monthly recap and forecast. This is going to be a recap of May, all right, and last week, and then we're also going to forecast the first week in June, and then what we're going to be doing for all of June. And let's get started right away. Let's actually recap what we did and how last month and last week ended up. Well, let's talk about the SPY first, all right? So the S&P ETF, the SPY, SPY for the month, all right, month of May was up 0.83%. So actually pretty good. You hear the whole, saying of, sell in May and go away. Well, as I've said before, historically, more recent history says that that's not such a great strategy. In fact, what's happened more recently is some volatility in June has actually coming in. So sometimes selling in June and going away, and then maybe coming back in July has been the route. It seems to be the pattern over the last couple of years. But let's see what we're going to be doing. But again, the SPY was up 0.83% for the month. Good month. Last week we had some volatility come back in. We had a really big sell-off day to come back from the holiday. Long holiday weekend on Tuesday, and the market ended up down 0.59%. Now, how did we do at wealthytrades.com? Well, on a monthly basis, we had called out at the beginning of May, we had called out long the XLV. In fact, the XLV, the healthcare sector, has been the sector that we've been long for multiple months, all right, so since March, essentially. But for the month, all right, so the month of May, the XLV individually was up 3.79%, all right, so that's huge. The best stock that we called out within the healthcare sector was Cardinal Healthcare, CAH, and that was up 4.3%. So huge outperformance if you think about this relatively speaking. And this is the way you got to look at these longer term trades. Right? Anything on a weekly, monthly basis, you need to look at it as on a relative basis. So relatively speaking, compared to the market, right? Compared to the market, up 0.83% for the month. The XLV, which is the ETF, the sector that we called out to be long for the month, was up 3.79%. That's huge outperformance. And the best stock within that sector, Cardinal Health, up 4.3%. That's the kind of outperformance that you need to consistently get to be able to do the things you want to do in life. And again, the market, being along the market is really good, but being along within the best sectors in the market is much, much better and going to give you much more bang for your buck, and ultimately going to help you outperform the markets and eventually do the things you want to do in life. And that's really what it's all about. All right, so for the week, the S&P 500 ETF, the SPY, was down 0.59%. All right, so down for the week and experienced a lot of volatility. Whereas, get this, our weekly trade, what we did, remember the trend quality was below 50%. We were in an uptrend, all right, but the trend quality was below 50%. So therefore, what we wanted to do is we wanted to do a pairs trade. So we went long the XLV and short the XLE. So that trade by itself, if you just would have focused on the sectors, was up 0.85%. So huge outperformance compared to the market that was down 0.59%. And then our pairs trade for the stocks, individual stocks, the best stock to be long, which was UNH, and the best stock to be short, which is SWN, was up 2.39%. That pairs trade was up 2.39%. So huge outperformance on a weekly basis. The best, the stock play, short SWN, long UNH, up 2.39% in comparison to the market that was down 0.59%. Huge outperformance, and our day trades did very, very well also. On Tuesday, we did a pairs trade, long BCR, short RRC up 0.2%. Wednesday, pairs trade, long XLV, short ESV, 0.75%. Another pairs trade up 0.25%. And then Friday, we took a directional short NE. That was a great trade, up 2.27%. Overall, the day trades were up 3.16%. So last week, the outperformance on the core Wealthy Trades dashboard trades was absolutely phenomenal. All right, phenomenal. One thing I do want to show you guys, all right, is this. We've been live. The site has been launched, officially launched, beginning of March, really. This is a process that I've been using for a very long time, but we officially launched the product to the public in March. And what I wanted to highlight is this is the weekly performance. All right, so the weekly performance, if you would have just followed kind of the Wealthy Trades model, which is look at the Wealthy Trades weekly dashboard. All right, so the weekly dashboard. If go with the trend. If the trend quality is above 50%, then feel free to go long in the best sector, the best stock in the best sector. If it's below 50%, then do a pairs trade. So that's kind of the model. All right, so if you would have done that since the beginning of March, okay, so the beginning of March, so here's what we've done. A lot of times we've been long the XLV, short the XLE. In fact, most weeks, other than March 16th, week of March 16th, we went long the XLU instead. Went into the XLU for a little while. The XLP we've also been playing a little bit. Basically, been mainly the XLV long or the XLP. Long story short, here's the best sectors, all right? So here's the best sectors to go long, here's the best sectors to go short. If you see a blank here, all right, so the blank ones, that means that the trend quality, those were the weeks where the trend quality was above 50%. All right, so we decided just to go on a long position. But what I wanted to highlight is this. These were the best stocks, okay? So these were the best stocks that were called out to go into. If the trend quality was below 50%, we called out a pairs trade. For example, the week of March 2nd, we called out long UNH, short SWN, much like last week because the trend quality was below 50%. That pairs trade was up 2.56%. So what I wanted to show you is if you would have just followed along with, if the trend quality is above 50%, go long in the best stock in the best sector. If it's below 50%, go do a pairs trade. And if you would have just followed along with that, since the beginning of March, you're up 4.21%. All right. Last week, as I highlighted, the pairs trade, which was long in UNH, short SWN, was up 2.39%. All right, as I highlighted, where was that here? Right here, 2.39%. Much like that's pretty much the same position we're going to go in this week. But overall, you're up 4.21%. Now, let's just say, because we do have some people that subscribe to Wealthy Trades that trade long only. They trade in qualified accounts, retirement, IRA, different things like that. So if you would have just went into long the best stock, so regardless of the trend quality, if the trend is up, you go into the best sector and you find the best stock in the best sector and you just go long the best stock in the best sector each week. If you would have done that, you're up 3.63% since the beginning of March. I wanted to highlight that because in comparison to the market, all right, the SPY since the beginning of March, since March 2nd, the SPY is only up 0.17%. So if you're a long-only trader and you went long each week, just went long into the best stock in the best sector each week since March, you're up 3.63%. If you would have done pairs trades when we called out the pairs trades, you're up 4.21% in comparison to the market. That's huge outperformance. I wanted to highlight that. It shows the power of what we do at Wealthy Trades, and I want everybody to understand this doesn't have to be that difficult. That's one trade per week. Essentially, the long-only trader, you're just going in. If we're in an uptrend, you're finding the best stock in the best sector. So this week, you find XLV is the best sector. Scroll down, find the best stock in the best sector. Use the pair down technique and find that. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to do a pairs trade this week, right? But I'm going to start with finding the best stock in the XLV. So I'm going to move the XLV in all these stocks as I hit the plus symbol next to the stocks. I'm going to move these 8 stocks over into my portfolio. I'm going to use my pair down technique to find the best stock to go into. All right, so the portfolio tab is the middle tab right here. And then I got to click on the weekly because I'm doing weekly. I'm going to find the best stock to go long this week, okay? My first pair technique is I'm going to look and I'm going to eliminate anything. I'm going to look at levels to win profit, and anything that doesn't make money, all right, on both sides, I'm going to eliminate. So I'm going to flip through this kind of quick. So Humana had a huge rally last week, huge rally. But I'm going to eliminate it because look at this. When it hits the counter trend side, historically, it loses money. I don't want it. I don't want that. I want only stocks that make money on both sides. All right. So I'm flipping through here. ANTM, I'm going to eliminate that one. Even though it hits the trend side at a very, very high rate, I'm still going to eliminate it. Okay. So I'm going through this kind of quick. Okay. So all of these make money. Now the next pair down technique I use is the spread. All right, I want to see a high percentage on the levels on levels. All right, a high percentage here and a low percentage here. What this is telling me is how often does MNK, for example, how often does this rally up and close above? All right, closed at 129.44 for the week. The expected high this upcoming week is 133.10. How often does it rally up and close above that? Well, that's the levels on levels. So, and how often does it sell off and close below this? I want a wide spread between this. The wider, the better. Okay. So I'm going to find the one stock that has the widest spread. So look at this spread. It's 21% almost. Well, that's not as good as this one. This one's 31%. So UNH is 31%. So now If anything isn't less, it isn't more than 31%, then UNH is going to be, again, this week's long stock. And I can tell you right now, it is, in fact, the best stock. All right, this one's close. CI is close, but not quite as good. AET not as good, and XLV not as good. So UNH is once again the best stock for this week to go long. Okay, so if you're a long only trader right here, then you would just go long, or you would have just stayed long UNH, all right, for this entire week, closed at the end of the week. There's also a couple other areas that you can enter. All right, look at this. It closed at 120.21. The expected high is 122.55. Well, historically, when it rallies up and hits 122.55, it does that 61.5% of the time. When it rallies up and hits that, it typically rallies and continues to go higher. I know that because historically it makes money by trading there. So if I wanted to, I could add to the position. If it rallies and hits 122.55, I can actually add to my position there. On the counter trend side, if it sells off and it hits 117.87 historically, that's a really good area to buy at too, because when it hits the downside level, and the downside level for this upcoming week is 117.87. Historically, it bounces off that and closes higher. I know that because it makes money on the levels to win profit. So this is a great trade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go long UNH at the open on Monday, and I'm going to hold it all week long. But here's the thing. So a long-only trader, right, those that are trading in a retirement account or IRA or a qualified account or just don't like to short, then that's your long position for the week. All right, it's UNH. For those that follow the Wealthy Trades kind of strategy of if the trend quality is below 50%, then we want to do a pairs trade. And the way we do a pairs trade is we find the sector that is that is in a downtrend. So the only sector in a downtrend on a weekly basis is the energy sector. So we're going to bring the energy sector and the stocks in the energy sector over into our portfolio, and we're going to find the best stock to go short in the energy sector, all right? And I got to be honest, it's going to be a fairly simple trade. It's going to be much like the one we did last week. In fact, it's going to be pretty much the same trade as we did last week. So I use the same paired on technique here, and I'm going to look at, see, this is unique though. So I'm going to flip through this. I'm going to show you something. So XLE loses money, CHK loses money. In fact, all of these on a weekly basis, there's none of them that make money on both sides. So what do? In that scenario, here's what I do. I've got to find, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate, I can eliminate the ones that lose money on both sides. So XLE loses money on both sides, so I'm going to eliminate that one. Flip through here, eliminate MER, that loses money on both sides. So just, you know, because all of them lose money on at least one of the sides. So now how do I pare this down? Well, because they all kind of lose money on one of the sides, I still can use the levels on levels spread, all right? So the spread here is 34 and 17. Well, that's better than 32 and 19. All right, 34 and 17, well, that's better than 21 and 13. And it's better than 21 and 7. And it's better than 32 and 7, all right? So the SWN, again, is 34 and 17. That's better than 34 and 28. And it's better than 28 and 23. So therefore, this week, the pairs trade, the Wealthy Trades pairs trade is going to be, give me a second here. Let me bring this back into my portfolio. The pairs trade for this week is going to be short SWN, long UNH. All right, I'm going to get into these at the open on Monday, hold all week long. Reason why I'm doing a pairs trade is the same reason last week I did a pairs trade in the same exact stocks. All right, this same trade last week was up 2.39%. Why am I doing the same trade this week? Well, because again, we're in an uptrend, but the quality is below 50%. Therefore, I don't want to just do a blind long trade. I want to do a pairs trade. But if you're a long-only trader, right? Again, there are long-only traders. Then the best stock to go long this week is UNH. Okay, but the trade we're gonna do is Wealthy Trades is long UNH, short SWN, or if you just like to do the sectors, you can go long XLV, short XLE. That is the trade for this week. Okay, for the month. All right, for the month. We are still in an uptrend, and look at this, the trend quality is still below, above 50%. So therefore, unlike the weekly where the trend quality is below 50%, we can feel free just to go long in the best sector, which is the XLV. So I'm going to move the XLV, all right, clicked on a monthly tab. I'm going to move the XLV and all the stocks within the XLV over into my portfolio, okay, and I'm going to find the best stock to go long for this entire month. So I'm going to click on my portfolio, click on the monthly tab, and I'm going to use my same paired on technique, right? Remember the paired on technique, eliminate anything that doesn't make money. Okay, so CAH, CI, EW, LLY. Eliminate that one. Remember, SWN is in the energy sector. That's our weekly trade. UNH is actually in the weekly and the monthly, so that's a good sign. And then sell. Okay, so all those make money. So now I'm going to do the same technique, which is the levels on levels spread. 45 and 16 is not as good as 54 and 16. So UNH is better than Selge. All right, 41 and 8. 54 and 16. So what is it? 41. So 54 and 16 is better than 41 and 8. So UNH is better than that one. 41 and 8. So UNH is better than that one. CAH is 45 and 4, which is better than 54 and 16. So CAH is better than UNH, which I should have kept UNH because that's our weekly trade, but let me get rid of that real quick. I'll go back. So now CAH is 45 and 4, so we got to look for that's not as good as that's better than 41 and 8. It's better than 50 and it's better than 50 and 12 and a half, and it's better than 4. Oh, okay. All right, so get this. Look at this. The XLV, 45 and 8 and 4.2. 45 and 8 and 4.2. So which one's better? Well, this is how we're going to make our decision. We've got 75% hit rate here and a 37.5. We've got 79 and 29. So technically speaking, XLV is the best place to allocate a long position. It's the best sector, and it's the best place just to go long. If you're looking for the best stocks, CAH is the best stock. But technically speaking, for the month, XLV does offer the best stats, which is kind of unique. Typically, you can find a stock within the sector that offers some better stats, but the XLV itself, because it's been such a great performer, offers the best play for the month. So CAH technically is the best stock in the XLV, but the XLV itself is the best play to go long. And think about this. We've been long the XLV since April, since the beginning of April. So let's look at this actually. So since the beginning of April, since the beginning of March, essentially we've called out the XLV. Well, the XLV was trading at 72.27 at the beginning of March. That's what you could have got in. That's where it opened, 72.27. It's trading now at 74.94. So 72.27. So it's up since the beginning of March, 3.69%. That's in comparison to a market that's only up 0.17%. So the XLV offers by far the best position to be long in. If you're looking for that individual stock, it's CAH, but the XLV is the way to go on a monthly basis. On a weekly basis, as I said, we want to be long UNH, short SWN. On a daily basis, all right, so what are we going to do for our day trades? For those that day trade, there's very few that do day trade, but if you do, trend is down, quality is above 50%, so therefore we're going to go short just in the XLP. We're going to find the best stock to go short in the consumer staple sector, all right, and I'm going to bring all these stocks over into my portfolio and bring those in, and I'm going to find the best shorting opportunity, use my same pair down technique, eliminate anything that doesn't make money. And I'll kind of recap all this when I'm done. I know I'm going kind of fast, but I'll recap all this in a minute. I'm going to eliminate anything that doesn't make money. KO, bye. Okay, now I'm going to use my same pair down, 25 and 11. 28, 7, so 25 and 11 is better. 34 and 3 is by far better than 25 and 11. So 34 and 3 is the best so far. It's better than 32 and 13. And it's better than 30. So for our day trade, we are going to be short KMB. So let me recap all this, all right? So our weekly trade is going to be long UNH, short SWN. Okay, short SWN. Oops. Short SWN. Our monthly trade is long XLV. If you're looking for a stock, you can be long CAH. And we're not doing a pairs trade in that because the quality is above 50%. And then for our day trade, we're going to be short KM. So let's on a monthly basis, here's what we're doing. I'm going to go long tomorrow at the beginning on Monday, beginning of the week. Beginning of the month, I'm going to go long the XLV. I'm going to hold it all month long. Okay, that's my play. That is exactly what I'm going to do. What I can do is I can actually look to potentially sell a call, maybe sell potentially sell maybe the June 26th or the July 2nd or 3rd call at 77, see if I can collect some premium there. But I'm going to go long the XLV. I'm going to hold it all month long. That's going to be my monthly play. For those that are looking for stocks, the best stock to go into this month is CAH. I'm going to go long CAH, hold it all month long. Go long XLV, hold it all month long. There is no stop, because remember, the reason why there's no stop is because it closed at 74.94 for the month. It has an expected low of 72.97, but when it hits that, it typically hits it and closes higher. So why would I put a stop there? I shouldn't put a stop there. Typically, that's a good place to buy. So technically, I could actually use that as a buying area. Same thing with CAH. So those are the monthly plays. For the weekly plays, all right, what we're doing is we're going long UNH. We're doing a pairs trade. Why are we doing a pairs trade? Because the trend quality, we're in an uptrend. Trend quality was below 50%, right? So the best stock to go long is UNH. The best stock to go short is SWN. So I'm going long UNH, short SWN. For our day trades, we're going short and the trend quality is below 50%. I'm sorry, above 50%. So therefore, we can feel free to short with confidence. The XLP is the best sector to short in, and the KMB, right, is the best stock to short. So KMB on Friday closed at 108.86. Got an expected low. The trend side is 108.30. Expected high 109.42. Those are good areas where you could add at, but I'm going to go short on Monday, close at the end of the day. So I'm going to go short KMB, close at the end of Monday. I'm going to go short SWN, hold all week long, close on Friday. Go long UNH, hold all week long, close on Friday. And then I'm going to go long in the XLV, hold all month long. That is my plays. Listen, this is how you use wealthytrades.com. It maybe sounds kind of confusing, but like I said, even if you keep it as simple as, okay, we're in an uptrend, I'm a long-only trader, so what's the best stock in an uptrend? As long as the arrow's pointing up, XLV is the best sector, find the best stock, go long that stock. It's that simple. If you would have done that since the beginning of March, you're up 3.63% in comparison to the market only up 0.17. What if you did this on a monthly basis? You took one trade per month. You go long in the best sector. Well, you would have been holding XLV since the beginning of March. You would have been long in the XLV, and you'd be up 3.5% in comparison to the market that's only up 0.17%. That is how Wealthy Trades helps you outperform the market. It is phenomenally powerful. And if you're on a trial subscription right now, you need to subscribe as fast as possible. I'm telling you, it's $74 a month. It's an absolute steal. The way we analyze the markets is unlike anything else out there. And it's so powerful. It helps you get in the right direction, all right? Make sure that you're trading in the right direction and in the best sectors and stocks within those sectors. It's very, very powerful. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's make this a great week. Last week we had a phenomenal week. Let's make this a great week. Let me know. Email me if you have any questions. info@wealthytrades.com. Make it a great week.